Sir, not audible.
Am I comparatively audible right now? Yes. Very good morning. You're able to hear me, I guess. Thank you so much. Great. So, a warm welcome to one and all present over here, teachers. Thank you so much for joining on another Super Sunday workshop. And this time we are getting into an important topic called as stress management. Now, this has been chosen as per the circular by CBSE on CPT programs, where it was divided into three areas of knowledge and practices, core values and ethics, and professional development. So, here in this case, this particular aspect of stress management comes under the emotional aspect, the professional development program, and it's an important. I'm eagerly waiting for a session from CBSE on stress management on the areas that they will be covering. But before that, let's quickly get into some parts of stress management, especially from teachers or educators perspective. So whatever we're going to deal with today will be completely related to the scenarios or situations that we come across. Right in the morning when you wake up, you see your spouse, probably husband or wife, sleeping besides you. That is stress. Yeah. Probably you wake up in the morning and somebody's like asking you to make a cup of coffee or something like that, and you've nobody asks you if you had one. That is stress. We're probably not going to get into all those aspects a little later. In fact, one important stress is the stress where you get to hear the news that your mother-in-law is visiting for 1 month during your summer vacation. That is the biggest stress. I'm not sure if it happens or not. Well, these are some of the options, or I mean, opportunities or places where you get stressed out a lot. But today we'll be touching upon an area where it is completely related to the school. Actually, most of the stresses that come across in the school, predominantly it's actually not because of the students, it's because of your colleagues. Did you complete your lesson plan? I have completed, something like that. So it's like the staff room becoming like a childlike atmosphere, showing who did their work first. Hey, did you know today parent teachers meeting, they appreciated me? Did anyone appreciate you? That is stress. So let's understand this in simple terms, and let's try to understand stress is not something accounted under weakness. It's a biological process, and it's a very good thing. So today's take on stress management is not going to be completely from the perspective of negatives, but also positives. And that's what body says. It's just that regular stress exposure causes a lot of damage. Interestingly, there's also a study which reveals that teachers being exposed to children to a lot of time, I mean, major part of your day, the stress levels are comparatively lesser in comparison to the people who are working at hospitals or an IT organization where the interaction with the fellow colleagues are comparatively lesser. They have to take a lot more extra efforts in order to be leading a stress-free life. Just imagine if you consider yourself to be stressful. Think about the other industries. We are lucky in that way. Let's quickly let's get into the topic, and I would like to yeah, ego clashes that will always be there, and let that be there. It's a good thing somewhere. Yeah, no. Anyways, I'm going to share my screen, teachers, and for that, in 3, 2, and 1. You should be able to see that over here. One important aspect of stress management is, that there is this a topic of self-management skills. It talks about uh, good behavior, staying happy in life, adding a lot of joy and humor. Those are pseudo levels of steps that a teacher can take in order to reduce stress. We'll talk about all these things and you should be able to see video stuck here for some network issue. Okay, okay, that's okay, no problem, no problem. You can watch the same video on YouTube as well, teachers. So stress management, educator care perspectives, Super Sunday Workshop Series session 121. I would like to thank all the teachers who've been extremely consistent. Thank you for making me wait every Sunday. It means a lot. So let's quickly go forward. So stress as an important aspect is not just because of the students in the schools setup. It is predominantly from the colleagues or sometimes the leaders as well. If there are leaders in this particular session, you'll definitely love this particular take. Not that you're not aware about it, you're aware about it, but still, leaders being leaders, they behave like leaders, and no other option. That's why whenever I go to a school, no, leadership role is so tricky that at least the other teachers can go and crib about scenarios to the other colleagues, but the principal can never do that. They're kind of sandwiched between the management and the teachers. Very tedious task. Anyways, it all started the day I working here. Let's quickly go begin and understand. Predicted stressors. The first one. Did you complete your lesson plan? Today is the last day to submit. The moment you hear this, it's going to trigger some sort of discomfort in your brain. That's stress. Did you correct your answer sheet bundles? Tomorrow you need to distribute it. Actually, when you know that tomorrow is the day when you have to do the deadline, or probably in the next 2 or 3 hours, that's exactly the time where you would have found yourself to be the maximum productive person. It's like, oh my God, I have to complete this in 1 hour. I need to. So there is this mindset, this website called as mindfulness. I'm forgetting the actual website. I'll talk about it, where they say that when you plan a certain task to be completed, if you give 1 week time to complete it, the task might appear to be big enough to be completed in 1 week. But if you also give just 1 hour time to complete the same task, there are a lot of chances that you will be able to achieve similar 75 to 80% of completion of the task. A perfect example could be an exam. Just imagine, right before the exam, the students have this habit of preparing the timetable for 1 month. I'll be covering maths on the first week, second week probably social. I'll give just 3 days for English. It's very simple, something like that. And they make the complete timetable. And just before the day of the exam, they realize that they've not even opened the textbook. And then they schedule for that 1 hour. First 5 minutes is for English. The whole book. First 5 minutes is for next 5 minutes is for mathematics or something. And interestingly, they're successful. So there is a lot of research which clearly indicates stress. There's a positive stress or positive burden which actually leads to higher productivity to a very large extent. We'll talk about that as well. How does that actually happen in the brain? We'll understand the neuroscience behind it eventually. One more is, did you prepare the report card of your students or report of your students? It's PTM in 2 days. Oh, parent teachers meeting is next level stress for private schools. I've seen that. They dress up well. That's the ultimate stress. Why do I have to do that? Even you're not so stressed to plan for what to cook in the next meal, but for PTM, it's definitely a big stress. Ma'am, sir, the principal is calling you. I don't know why. Have you come across this? If yes, then put it on the chat. It's like some teacher comes to the staff room and says, like, Ranjita ma'am, principal ma'am is calling you. And you're like, why? I don't know why. I don't know. For some reason, you get stressed out. Biggest stress. Why is this lady calling me right now? All beautiful things happening in life. Suddenly, this lady is calling me. Something like that. Or man. Okay. I'm just predominantly dominating ladies for some reason. Just keeping my mother in mind. Don't get carried away. I'm not stereotyping. Today it's 100% attendance in your class. I did not expect this. So last week I was talking to some teachers on what are the stressors out there. One of the teacher was like, if there is 100% attendance in the class, I get stressed out. Is that true? If that is true, it is a new learning for me. I didn't know that. Okay. Not at all. Okay, for some reason, some people say not at all. Okay, fine. That's okay. There must be a class in the whole school all the time that this class, this section, ninth A, the naughtiest of the whole school. That's there. I mean, and they are 100% full today. In fact, the stress goes to a level where you even name the children. Oh my God, Vasu is present in the class. Finish. My life is going to get ruined or something like that. You miss the school bus. That's the next level stress again. You are in charge of the annual day function. Another stress altogether. I can see computer teachers smiling right now. Majority of the computer teachers take care of the annual day videos or presentations and all these things, and they're like, "You have to do it," something like that. Let's go forward. Fine. So there are many more. There are many more. Let's go forward. Stress is a biological response, not a sign of weakness. If anybody's like, I always get stressed out, it's really wrong, I'm not able to manage things, don't worry, that's completely fine. It's not just you who needs to be worried, it's your complete body which is taking care of it. In fact, many people would have this stage fear. Now, stage fear doesn't really mean that you're standing on a stage and a big audience is present in front of you. That could be one aspect of it, but it could also be like you have to stand up and speak in front of your family. It could also be the case where you have to stand up and speak in front of the fellow teachers in the staff room, or in a training program, or in the classroom. Now, when you stand up and when you start talking, there is some sort of nervousness in your stomach. People call that as butterflies. Yeah, those butterflies that you have in your stomach is also called as collie wobbles. COLLYWOBBLES, collie wobbles. I would request you to please Google about it. It's a very interesting phenomenon. And collie wobbles have always proven to be something to, more like you're in a panic situation, you get nervous, you get stuck, and collie wobbles is that indication that you're stressed out. When you're aware about it, you can take immediate action on doing anything that can bust your stress at that particular moment. Probably starting the session with saying that I really do not know what to speak. There are a lot of collie wobbles or butterflies in my stomach right now, and lightening the situation, and then continuing your talk. But the important fact is collie wobbles, you need to realize it, you need to know that this is happening. So being aware of the stress is another important area that we need to work on, and that's what we're going to talk about in today's session. Let's understand the biological process in terms of a video, and these are some of the terms that you will be relating to. So say for example, uh, um, uh, you know, stress, then dopamine. It's a hormone like nervous. These are some of this in an anxiety. HPA, hypothalamus pituitary axis, right? Hormones, cortisols, brain, adrenal, amygdala. Amygdala, what it says, I'll let you know. Fight or flight, I shall take care. Whenever you're in stress, what amygdala actually does is it's that part of the brain in the limbic system. I'll quickly tell you, it will not get too technical, don't worry. There are two major parts of the brain that we need to understand in an overarching perspective. First one is called as the prefrontal cortex, and the second is the limbic system, just there somewhere, so at the center somewhere, just imagine it's there somewhere in the brain. Okay. Now, prefrontal cortex is responsible for impulse, taking actions immediately. Limbic system takes care of emotions, and amygdala is one part of it. Now, when you talk about the connection between prefrontal cortex and the limbic system, if the communication is better between both of them, the decisions that you take, the actions that you take right after that is more calculated. So it's important for everyone to understand that the prefrontal cortex and limbic system has to regularly communicate, and that is probably called as awareness. You can check about it. More importantly, there's one important fact that everybody should realize: the limbic system, which is responsible for knowing what's right and wrong, and it's comparatively probably slower than the prefrontal cortex, is not even completely developed for the students in even till teenage. That's why they think whatever they do is right and wrong. They can't comprehend why. There is no brain. So sometimes when you scold your children by saying that brainless, you are actually not wrong, and they will not understand that because they don't understand what's brainless, because they don't have that part of brain. Make sense a little bit? We'll understand that in the form of a video teachers. You would love it. Please watch this and then we shall continue. It's all about how stress affects your brain. It's going to be a little technical in nature, but teachers can definitely understand. Here we go.
Are you sleeping restlessly, feeling irritable or moody, forgetting little things, and feeling overwhelmed and isolated? Don't worry, we've all been there. You're probably just stressed out. Stress isn't always a bad thing. It can be handy for a burst of extra energy and focus, like when you're playing a competitive sport or have to speak in public. But when it's continuous, the kind most of us face day in and day out, it actually begins to change your brain. Chronic stress, like being overworked or having arguments at home, can affect brain size, its structure, and how it functions, right down to the level of your genes. Stress begins with something called the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis, a series of interactions between endocrine glands in the brain and on the kidney, which controls your body's reaction to stress. When your brain detects a stressful situation, your HPA axis is instantly activated and releases a hormone called cortisol, which primes your body for instant action. But high levels of cortisol over long periods of time wreak havoc on your brain. For example, chronic stress increases the activity level and number of neural connections in the amygdala, your brain's fear center. And as levels of cortisol rise, electric signals in your hippocampus, the part of the brain associated with learning, memories, and stress control, deteriorate. The hippocampus also inhibits the activity of the HPA axis, so when it weakens, so does your ability to control your stress. That's not all though. Cortisol can literally cause your brain to shrink in size. Too much of it results in the loss of synaptic connections between neurons and the shrinking of your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that regulates behaviors like concentration, decision-making, judgment, and social interaction. It also leads to fewer new brain cells being made in the hippocampus. This means chronic stress might make it harder for you to learn and remember things, and also set the stage for more serious mental problems like depression and eventually Alzheimer's disease. The effects of stress may filter right down to your brain's DNA. An experiment showed that the amount of nurturing a mother rat provides its newborn baby plays a part in determining how that baby responds to stress later in life. The pups of nurturing moms turned out less sensitive to stress because their brains developed more cortisol receptors, which stick to cortisol and dampen the stress response. The pups of negligent moms had the opposite outcome, and so became more sensitive to stress throughout life. These are considered epigenetic changes, meaning that they affect which genes are expressed without directly changing the genetic code. And these changes can be reversed if the moms are swapped. But there's a surprising result. The epigenetic changes caused by one single mother rat were passed down to many generations of rats after her. In other words, the results of these actions were inheritable. It's not all bad news though. There are many ways to reverse what cortisol does to your stressed brain. The most powerful weapons are exercise and meditation, which involves breathing deeply and being aware and focused on your surroundings. Both of these activities decrease your stress and increase the size of the hippocampus, thereby improving your memory. So don't feel defeated by the pressures of daily life. Get in control of your stress before it takes control of you.
Now, that's a fantastic video talking about stress getting passed on to generations. So, if at all you get angry, if at all you're really upset about things quite often, and if you think that that's that's not the case with many others around you, probably it's not your fault, it's your mother's or parents' fault. I'm not sure. But rat proved out to be the same. There are experiments which talks about a happy family being happy for generations together. So it's not a function of their attitude alone, it's also a function of habit of being happy. Taking those extra steps to make sure that you don't get angry, or taking those extra steps to not be sad about things. That's why the breadth of mind is directly proportional to the depth of life. I don't know. I mean, it's a beautiful saying, but that's absolutely a true statement. And thanks to TED video, the one which we saw right now. So it's all about hippocampus. We need to enlarge hippocampus regularly. And for it to get enlarged, we need to have good synaptic connections. When you talk about synaptic connections, it's all about the road connections between neurons. More the connections are, better is your comprehending abilities. It could be decision making, or it could be reacting to a scenario. So all these are because of synapses. But more and more stress on a regular basis, daily basis, can increase the levels of cortisols, something, a chemical sort of a thing. Let's keep it at layman's term, which gets secreted when we are really upset about things, more on negative aspect. So this is more like an opener, but today's session is not really about understanding stress in so much detail, but it's about stress management. So let's understand like what could be done in order to avoid those negativities, because anything related to hormone, we can stop it. you can have a control over it. Let's quickly understand that. Dopamine, yeah, we'll talk about the dose as well eventually, but for now I would like to go to this particular place, and for that I would like to share my screen. One, two, three. You're able to see the screen? No, not yet. You should be able to see it. Great. So some of the key factors that are responsible for stress. Look at this. For a teacher, we've written this particular slide completely based on teachers and educators. You might say yes or no on the chat. Maybe some of them are not really relatable, but let me know. First is role overload and multitasking. In a school, generally this happens. Teachers juggle teaching, administrative duties, assessments, events, and sometimes personal responsibilities all at once. Well, you become so good with it because you practice that every day. For example, planning lessons while also being in a charge of annual day coordination. Could be the case. Now it's up to the leaders to manage that pretty well. It's very difficult, but that definitely happens. The first point is definitely yes. Nobody can say no to it. Correct? Yes. Okay, let's go to the second point. Time pressure. Now, tight schedules, unrealistic deadlines, and lack of planning time add constant pressure. Now, I've seen this especially with higher grade teachers where they have this pressure of completing the 10th standard portion probably by the month of June itself or July. I'm just exaggerating. Or maximum by September, October, November, or December. The number of chapters are many, but you have to complete the portion so that the children can focus on more on probably sample question papers or confidence tests. That's another area. So, by completing syllabus, checking notebooks, and attending meetings all in a single day. And still, you have to keep a smiling face. That is stress. You can crib about it. You can take that stress. You can be angry. That's okay. That's not stress. But you have to smile after that. That's interesting, which is difficult. There is an S for this as well. Okay, okay, a big yes. I'm surprised. Okay. Board exams are huge stress. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, primary teachers must be really happy looking at this. Appada, that's not there for us. Something like that. Okay, let's go forward. Emotional labor. No, this is very, very difficult to say no to this. Teachers must remain composed, empathetic, and energetic even when emotionally drained. Like, especially when a parent comes right after the school to talk to them, it's difficult. Or handling a student's emotional outburst after dealing with personal family stress. It's like, in spite of whatever the scenario may be at the back end, you need to have a smiling face. Customers, principals, teachers, or on the other side, the parents, they come and talk to you. You don't have an option. You have to keep a smiling face. You behave little oddly on one day, then you are framed. Oh, this lady, no, or this sir, no, always is angry. Something like that. That always never happened, just once. But that got you always. At least for that, you always lie to yourself. Okay, that's one part. Next is student behavior and discipline issues. Oh, this is, you can't say no to this. This is increasingly now this is the biggest pandemic according to me. Frequent classroom disruptions or unmotivated learners can be mentally exhausting. Now, well, that we can't blame them. I told you, right? Limbic system is not developed for them. The responsible people are, one of the important stakeholders is definitely the friend circle, or the friend circle where the students parents were not able to nurture them right. Again, it boils down to parents or the teachers. So end of the day, again, it's coming back to you. So if a child is misbehaving in the class somewhere, it is very important for us to take up that. It's like, okay, this guy is not right. Maybe because I need to do something else, something like that. Or you do something to stop that. So managing a disruptive class with little support from school authorities. That is it. Okay, big yes. Parent expectations and pressures. This is again increasingly becoming very difficult. It's very difficult to satisfy all the parents. Um, Say for example, parents may blame teachers for academic or behavioral issues without context. They'll simply come, my child is not studying. Come on, I mean, teacher is there only in that 40 minutes in 1 6 hours. Doesn't mean, parents need to understand that. A parent questions your teaching style in front of others. Oh, this is again during the PTM, ma'am, don't teach like this, teach like this. My child, na, he likes to learn only when he's happy. Yeah, all these things. And unfortunately, you're in a position to hear all those things in spite of completing your BA DMEd and having at least 15 years of experience. I don't know. I'm just trying to be on your support. If there is any parent watching this, I would very humbly request you to please leave it to the teachers. Teachers will take care. If you think the teachers are not really working, and if you really think that from psychology perspective, the teachers are not doing the right thing, come up with evidence, talk to the leaders, coordinators, and then go to the teacher. You don't have the rights to scold them. If the parents are listening to me right now, it's a straight statement. Let's go forward. Lack of autonomy and voice. Feeling micromanaged or unheard in decision making can cause frustration. Well, this is an important area where multiple layers or hierarchies in a particular school can actually cause fatigue, both for the coordinators or those leaders and the teachers. It is like every week you have a classroom observation. No, let me decide my day. And just because I've written in the lesson plan doesn't mean I'll follow it. And you should have the confidence to tell that. Unfortunately, I wrote on that particular day, but today I've got a better idea. Unfortunately, I'm not able to follow that. But if there is a classroom observation happening by someone, including that could be me, I keep going for a lot of observations. And if I say, "Ki, ma'am, you have written this in your lesson plan, but you're not following, just kick me out of the school." You know, this nobody has, that particular liberty. So as a teacher needs to have a liberty on choosing what they want to do, which is actually called as autonomy and voice, of course. And that doesn't mean that you have to keep shouting, okay? Yeah, that has also happened. Let's go forward. Limited support from leadership. Well, in my experience, this is very rare. I have not seen much of this, at least happening in my little experience wherever I've gone. So it's all about absence of appreciation, empathy, or conflict resolution pathways increases burnout. These days, actually, I'm able to see a lot of leadership coming out if they are given sports day activities or annual day activities, something apart from the academics that they're taking care of. The teachers are respected with an extra bonus or 2 days holidays, or CPD hours may have 2 hours getting reduced. It's there in the CBC circular itself. So those are some appreciation that the leadership are already taking care, I guess. So but that's like a teacher constantly feels invisible despite consistent effort. Yeah, sometimes it's also the fault of, I would not say fault, launching of being recognized. Yeah, I used to have this, like whenever I work in my office, and like people should keep coming and telling me like, "Oh, so you did a good job." I keep expecting that, which is not my, like, which is not anybody else's problem. It's my problem. When that expectation is not met, I'm really happy about it. But if I just cut off the expectation, and when somebody comes and appreciates, I get happy about it. Doesn't mean that I keep expecting it. So that's the small line of difference between expectations and getting the appreciation. So these are some of the areas which actually causes the stress for the teachers. And now there are certain methods which we can actually manage ourselves. What are these? Now, pseudo level steps to mitigate steps. Now, this is not directly related to scientific methods of reducing our stress. Let's understand this. The first one is practicing gratitude. Now, this is all about, thanking for the things that are already present with us. Yeah, I'm having a beautiful school. I regularly get to have the payment. I regularly get to, yeah, maybe it is small right now. It'll eventually increase. It is actually always the calculations between a divine power and my hard work, for which I'll be paid one day. Maybe today I'm not paid financially. Maybe I'm blessed with something that can help me in future. Gratitude. Amazing, right? Gratitude keeps you grounded. And another important thing is positive self talk. Now, I had to put this, I didn't want to have slight transition for one reason. If you look all of these things, they all boil down to one important point called as the self appreciation or actualization or realization. All these comes under the category of metacognition. Now, what do I mean by that? Positive self talk plays an important role. I would like to stop share this screen over here and talk about it for a few seconds. How many of you would have come across the scenario where people would have suggested, especially the counselors or therapists or good leaders out there, like wake up in the morning and talk something positive about yourself. Today the day is going to be fantastic. They call it as positive affirmations. I look really good. And interestingly, you'll find that the day is actually fantastic. You'll find that you are comparatively little more confident than on other days. Why? Today you said about it. The point over here is when you talk about yourself, wherever you are, the body, basically subconscious mind that they call it, they don't understand the difference between true and false. Whatever you say, it actually gets manifested. If anybody is there in this group who says that I have been doing it and I've been practicing positive affirmations as per the CBSE circular as well, and I've seen changes. Put it on the group. I'll be the first person to say that. Why? Because I have seen manifestation happening, and there are pseudo level programs called as law of attraction, and then there is NLP program. A lot of places where it's proven very clearly what you think, feel, and talk about yourself has a direct relationship to your pathway to success or whatever your goal is. Now, the interesting part about this particular manifestation is whatever you speak, positive or negative, regularly. becomes an ease of job. That means first day you do it, it's maximum difficult. Second day you do it, comparatively you become good at it. Third day you're a pro. Probably fourth day it became part of your spinal cord. It's like reflex action. It's like you see something beautiful. Thank you God for the world so beautiful. Something like that. It has just become a reality. Now this particular part is very very important. Practice makes a man perfect. So if you're going in a positive direction and practicing something, you're getting good at it. If you're stressing about things that are actually not true, that has never happened, which is actually called as anxiety, and you're regularly practicing it, that also leads you to be good at that. Then coming out of that bad, it's very difficult task. So it's important for us to realize that good or bad, practice makes a man perfect. So what would you like to choose? Choose things accordingly. So that's where you know okay, and then I never said it's going to be good today. Okay, okay. It's all this temporary. Okay, you repeat that in the assembly. Fantastic. Okay, exactly. I'm a very positive and happy person. Something like that. uh I'm charming. I'm vibrant. How about that? Now, another important area is when you continue on that, that leads to the next point called as discipline as a practice. Now, one of the key aspects of you becoming happy is about you deciding something and sticking on to it. Say, for example, every day in the morning, I will wake up at 4 o'clock and go for a jog. Now, next day morning, unfortunately, you did not wake up. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, you woke up and you did not jog. You're going to feel depressed about it. You're going to feel stressed about it. So rather than having expectations set at 4 o'clock for a person who's habituated to wake up at 10 o'clock regularly, it's a very bad habit. Instead, you can start if you're waking up 10 o'clock in the morning regularly, let's stick to probably 9:30 on the first day, probably 9 o'clock on the next day, and then eventually coming down to 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock, rather than saying that I'll wake up at 4 o'clock right from the first day. So that's where discipline comes into picture. Discipline is a process. It's not something that you can wake up in the morning and start completely being a different person. No, that's not the way the brain functions. That's why discipline as a practice. The fourth one is joy and humor. Like I do not know somewhere. Even now, there are many times where, like me and my friends, when we hang up, we actually talk about Mr. Bean a lot. We talk about Tom and Jerry a lot. We talk about favorite comedians in our cinema a lot. So joy and humor can be more like an optional thing that you can take up regularly. It's a choice that you can make. For example, a teacher comes and talks to you, something really nice. You can come up with a response statement that can make the other person smile, and when the other person smiles, somewhere you'll be surprised that you are also smiling along with them. So it's like somebody says that, right? The biggest happiness is the happiness which you get by giving happiness to someone. It's something like that. So joy and humor cannot uh, be part of a man's life. If it's taken out, then it's equivalent to a corpse, as per Jim Carrey. There are a lot of people who talk about it. Even Charlie Chaplin speaks about it. Let's not get into the happiest faces has got the saddest background. No, 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 those are all drama. Let's not get into that. Next is appreciation. Now another important thing which supports gratitude is appreciation, which talks about things around you. It's like, I'm working in a fantastic atmosphere. I've got good family along with me. I've got really good organs. I'm able to see, feel, hear. I'm thankful to God or something like that. Yeah, gratitude and appreciation. Regular appreciation leads to better appreciations over the period of time. You'll actually realize that we are like with all the organs intact in our body, just talking about the physical body itself, that itself accounts to only, I think, 4% of the total world's population. Just 4%. Yeah, talk about it. It's a United Nations survey. I couldn't put the screenshot over here. Not really completely applicable in this session, but that's the reason. Keeping the child in you active is very important. It's like getting back to your school friends, college friends, talking about. In fact, I've seen many children saying that their parents become completely a different person altogether when they are there with their friends. Are you in touch with your friends by any chance? Men, they try a lot and they are somehow, but women, like right after marriage, at least I'm talking about my family members, they don't really get the time to call their friends. In fact, there's a time where my mother told me recently that she forgot the names of their friends and she hated that fact. So by the time it's late, it's important to get in touch. Just take the phone, call them, and say, "Hey, hi, how are you?" Another person will be like, "Did you really remember me? Interesting. Are you dead or alive?" A conversation that gets back you to the roots. That's why keeping the child in you active is very important. Pamper yourself is something like taking yourself to an outing, appreciating yourself for some really nice thing that you did, etc., etc., etc. Could be a massage as well at a parlor. Could be the case. Recognize milestones and achievements, very important. Success, whenever it comes, it's important to stop, pause, appreciate that. Self reflect a little bit on the efforts that you put and be happy about it, and then continue the journey. That's important. Anyways, these are pseudo level steps to mitigate stress. Once you are able to take up this, then we can get into the scientific aspects of self and managing self and reducing stress so that you can productivity gets increased. Let's quickly stop sharing the screen. I would like to quickly ask. Now, many of you saying it creates a feeling count. You're right, Simran ma'am. That's the reason it's there. Okay. Um, that's okay, Meenal ma'am. Can't really. Pets are huge stress busters, Anupam ma'am. You're right. So I'm going to tell a statement. Do you like? You just try to tell me how this can be changed to a positive outlook. So, for example, don't forget to bring your homework. Don't forget to bring your homework, or don't forget to do your homework. Something like that. Can you change that to a positive statement? Don't forget to do your homework. Something like that. Anybody can just reiterate it. Jim, yeah, Shivkumar, you're right. Positive statement. Always bring your homework. Oh, that's interesting. Expecting your completed homework. Oh, that's threatening. Remember, Rina, ma'am, that's interesting. Remember to do your homework. Don't forget to do your homework. Instead, like, remember to do your homework. That's complete your homework. Okay, let us do our work on time. That's again. Please complete the homework. Too much of a request. Remember to complete your homework. Do your daily homework. Let's do some exciting work. That's the biggest lie. You will give differentiation integration may practice, and you think that's interesting. No, I'm just kidding. Always do my homework on time. Do your work exactly. So here we just avoid it. Don't forget. Got converted to remember probably, or do this activity on a positive term, something like that. These are small cognitive changes or cognitive reframing that we can do. It's like, when somebody's scolding you, you immediately try to find a humor out of it and repeat the same statement so that the other person actually feels bad about it. That's your intention. I know that. But you are not angry about it. Let's understand these in simple terms. I'll appreciate if you will do your homework. I don't want your appreciation. That's the kind of children you have these days. I'm just saying. I would love it, by the way. Give them wristband, do your homework. Oh, wow. That's a good way of making them remember this homework. Looking forward to your work tomorrow. It's like a corporate office boss telling the manager, like, I hope all your room. Okay, I hope. I'll not ask about it. I don't know. That's a good one. Let's go forward. Let's go forward. See, neuroscience-backed techniques to regulate stress. You'll understand this, okay? The first one is called as box breathing. I think you know this, right? Box breathing. Yes, no, you can put it on the chat. It activates the parasympathetic nervous system. Parasympathetic nervous system is all about uh, consciousness. It's about being available to yourself. We'll talk about it. Reducing cortisol and calming the amygdala. Amygdala is that particular part of the brain in the limbic system which responds to panic, fear, something like stay away, something wrong is happening, something like that. It's like Max teacher has come, be alert, amygdala. Practice during transitions between classes or before meetings. Educators can do that. Progressive muscle relaxations like stretching regularly, deliberately, doing this and doing that so that you strain, stress a little bit, and then you come back to normal. Very important. That's called as progressive muscle relaxation. Releases physical tension stored in muscles, signals safety to the brain. Practice at the end of the day or during staff wellness breaks, probably between two periods. Some of you must be like, two periods ke beech mein break? Oh, sir, that's impossible. Guided visualization is one of my favorites. It's about engages the prefrontal cortex and reduces limbic overactivity. What it does is it's like imagination of something that would give you calmness. Like if I have to talk about, I imagine my children, you know, when I imagine my son, suddenly my wife comes, then stress increases. Then again, I go back, guided visualization, think about children, relax, something like that. you know, could be the case. So, guided visualization could also be your aim, could your goal. Whatever I'm doing today, it's for that particular gratification, delayed gratification. So, imagine a safe or a happy place during a 2 minute break, something like that. So, breathe in, hold it for 4 seconds. That's a hold process. Again, breathe out for 4 seconds and then hold it. Again, breathe in. I hope you're able to understand. So this 4 second, it's called as 4-4-4-4 rule. Basically directly related to what is it called as box breathing. I think you know it. Progressive muscle relaxation is this. Sit on a chair, scrunch up your face, Then relax it. Tense your arms, then relax them. Tense your shoulders, then relax them. Tense your legs. I think you do it. Walking itself is like that, huh? No? And guided visualization looks something like this. Do you really do all these things? No? Yes? A little bit? Uh-huh. Every day in the school. Okay, okay, okay. That's great. That's great. Okay, Vikram, we'll do that. Take energizer every okay. Absolutely. Let's go forward. Let's go forward. Let's go forward. Now let us go to the next way of relaxing. Now that could be a very interesting one, and this is called as cognitive and behavioral approaches. Now this is very important, something that you're not aware about predominantly, how your brain works. So cognitive reframing is the one where we spoke about changing the statements, like help shift perception of stressful events based on CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. Instead of I'm overwhelmed, reframe to I'm prioritizing what matters most today. It's like I would also like to bring some joy and humor. I think it's there in the next point. If a principal comes and gives you a very unrealistic deadline, and some of the teachers in the staff room, yes ma'am, I'll definitely do it. I am actually this Superman or Spider-Man of the school or something like that. So they're trying to be sarcastic, but they're trying to be jovial about it. Yeah, you give me any task, my body can take everything, something like that. You're trying to be sarcastic, but you take it. Now this is basically cognitive reframing. You try to tell your brain and your body that no, this is not causing me stress, it's just my response that is cross causing the stress. That's called as cognitive reframing. Nice. Now let's go to the next one, journaling. Now journaling is all about shown to reduce anxiety and increase emotional clarity. This is by James Pennebaker, 1997, who spoke about writing it out, anything that causes stress or anything that reduces, like is use gratitude press reflection journal for 5 minutes before sleep. I think many people do this. Do you? No? If you do, then that's great. That's great. Then next, the 90-second rule, Dr. Jill Bolt Taylor, who said that emotions chemically last only 90 seconds unless you fuel them with your thoughts. Suppose if you are getting triggered out of a certain statement or an action that's happening in the school, it's important for you to stay away from that trigger for at least 90 seconds. Probably you can come out of the classroom if the children are really noisy and they're irritating you, and relax for a few seconds, think about something else, come back to the class. Now, this can happen only when you are aware about the scenarios or situations. So be aware. Acknowledge the emotion, pause, breathe, don't react immediately. Always remember, teachers, you know about this very well. Whenever there's a fight between two people, like let's talk about probably husband and wife, which we can probably relate very well. uh it's not the initial stage of fight that actually causes bigger problem. The stage exactly in between, right in the beginning the food was not good, could be the cause of a fight. But in between, suddenly you are a dog, I am a cat, you are an elephant, I'm a buffalo. Then in future he called me buffalo. So this dog, cat, buffalo, cat, it actually came in between. It was not the cause of the fight. So that actually came because you were not quiet in the beginning. So whenever the trigger happens, it's important to stay away 90 seconds. And right after 90 seconds, it's like 1.5 minutes, you come back to normal. Nice, no? Doesn't work all the time, trust me. I keep jumping to conclusions and we have a good fight. Implementation intentions. Now this is Goldwitz's model called as if then planning, where he talks about if I feel rushed in the morning, then I'll breathe and smile before entering the class. It's like you are aware about the palpitations, you are aware about uh the abnormality that's happening in your body. Then you take a break, you're like, let's stand here, let's wait for a few seconds. There are sometimes acidity increases so much because of stress. So these cortisols increases acidities, and the word colic is related to acidity, and maybe that is why it is called as coli wobbles. Nice, no? Anyways, the point is you're aware about it and then you take an action. Goalwitz's model is about how that actions actually happen. We're not going to get into the details in this particular session, but we'll have a separate session on that. Then there is this one of the scientific method to manage your time is called as Eisenhower matrix. I think most of you know about it, where it talks about important and urgent matrix. So you need to write important, not important, urgent, not urgent. So it's like everything that's important and urgent, do it right now, right now. Then you have got a task which is important but not really urgent. So let's schedule it for tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Not important and urgent, then probably you can request somebody to do it, called as delegate. It's not important but urgent. Not important and not urgent, then delete it. When you put the list of all the topics that you have to do, and if you find almost 95% of them are falling under the fourth category, not important, not urgent, then you'll realize that shit, man, I was wasting my life. I need to remove that. So this Eisenhower matrix cannot be a regular practice. I mean, it will be quite tedious for you to keep on drafting it. But if you do that at least 10, 15 times, this frame gets stuck in your mind, and then you can easily able to categorize if this is important and urgent or not. So it's a very good thing. I think many people might know about it. In fact, I've seen some schools where this is present on the notice board as well. Exactly. Coming to the mind body techniques, which is almost the last part of the session, where they talk about heart focused breathing. Now, it's again box breathing is one type of it. Heart math is all about synchronizes breath and heartbeat, reduces stress. Like somebody mentioned about meditation, it's important. Focus on the area around the heart. Inhale for 5 seconds and exhale for 5 seconds. Have you come across this technique where during pranayama, during the yoga, where during the breathing techniques, they ask you to close your eyes and imagine the oxygen traveling from your nostrils to probably your arms, your shoulders, your legs, your toes, your fingers. Yeah, they repeat it. The instructor repeats it. And when they repeat it, you are able to feel the flow of. That's exactly heart focused breathing. It could be related to heart as well, but that's important. That reduces stress. You'll not believe, teachers, everyone who thought that you can have a very good meditation technique. It's like a simple, I'll just sit for a few seconds and start doing it. I would request or I would challenge you to do it right now. You will not be able to close your eyes for not more than 3 minutes. You'll agitate it and open it up. If you're able to hold your eyes closed for more than 3 minutes and just think about the body, that means you do really not have any stress in your life. It's very difficult. I tried it. Of course, the screen time and the quality of immersive technologies that are coming across is very difficult to have that level of attention span. But if it's there, you're a genius right now. Laughter therapy, humor, we already discussed about it, releases dopamine and endorphins, the happy hormones. Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. Lower stress hormones, cortisols. They're like the opposite army. Watch 1 minute funny videos or initiate humorous exchange in the staff room. Actually, what will happen, I'll tell you. You'll start watching 1 minute funny videos on YouTube Shorts. You'll close the phone, you'll realize it's already half an hour, and that will cause you more stress. So be very mindful about 1 minute funny video just for 1 minute and not more than that. Hydration and nutrition awareness. Dehydration increases cortisols. Yes, of course. Blood sugar dips affects mood. So you need to have a lot of water. And that itself is more than enough. Sip water regularly. Avoid sugar crashes during long school days. Yeah. Yeah. This protein bars that are becoming very common in school staff rooms. I'm, I hope you're aware that it has got a lot of sugar in that, right? You don't need protein from protein bar. Probably an egg can do the work, or some green leafy vegetable can do the work. Protein bar is another, it's not sugar free. Check it out and then have it. Let's go forward. Environmental and lifestyle interventions, the last part. It's like sunlight exposure releases a lot of endorphins, boosts serotonin, and stabilizes circadian rhythm. Now, yeah, sunlight exposure releases serotonin, but jogging in the morning in that sun probably releases endorphins. Now, circadian rhythm is about your body's rhythm to sleep cycle, which improves your gut life. It's very important for us to realize that. In fact, circadian rhythm is that one where even without an alarm, you wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's like 5:57, you'll automatically wake up because 6 o'clock you've set the alarm, but somehow 5:57, 5:58, you're waking up. And you're like, how is this possible? Exactly 1 minute before? That's amazing. That means you've achieved the greatest level of circadian rhythm. And most teachers have a very good circadian rhythm. Why? Because we've been accustomed to a regularity. Spend 5 to 10 minutes outside before school starts. Ah, that doesn't happen, right? You rush to the school, you jump, you because the gate is just about to get closed. But if you're early, just don't get into the staff room right at the beginning. Spend a few minutes outside, look at the children, let the other teachers come, wish them, and gradually aram se go. That sets the tone for you to be calm and composed throughout the day. Movement, stretch breaks, physical activities. I've seen some people going to the PT room to play table tennis or just some throw ball. There are so many teachers during the PT periods get actively involved with the students. It's like a substitution period and children are going for the PT. The teachers just, they don't allow the children to play. They also play with them. That's fantastic. Now some of you can say that no sir, dressing is an issue. Yeah, I've seen that with my parents, my sister, many people. But I do not know. That's just an excuse according to me. 3 minute classroom stretches of walking meetings. Digital detox moments is the day when like constant screen use increases cognitive load and mental fatigue. Just like every 20 minutes, you close the phone for 10-15 minutes and then start it again. Or teachers, I think it's still, I still believe in uh, pen and paper preparation than on like PPT is just the presentation of 100 pages of my notebook. So if you are able to put down things on pen and paper, that's an interesting thing, yeah. And that will actually get you another hobby of collecting pens. But anyways, use tech-free zones times during evenings or staff room lunches. That's it. The last, with respect to tracking and biofeedback, it's with respect to uh, checking the BPs. It's predominantly for the people who really have high levels of anxiety and stress. HRV tracking, heart rate variability, a physiological marker of stress resilience. Use smartwatches or free apps like Elite HRV to understand patterns. Not really required for a school teacher. Mood journals, stress trackers increases self-awareness and helps spot triggers. Simple daily scale of 1 to 5 rating on the trigger note. Yeah, right. In like you come back home and you see your utensils are still in the sink without washed, you get stressed. How can you avoid that? By being aware that it's going to be like that. So when you go home and you see that, you're not really stressed out. You're like, I know, I was expecting it. But if it is cleared, you'll be happy about it. That's it. So these are some of the areas from where we can actually understand stress and its mitigation. I'm not really sure if 1 hour is actually sufficient for us to give all this information, but I think out of the complete information that's spoken, even if 5 minutes of information is stuck to your brain, today's session is worth it. Yeah. So an important topic according to me, especially for the school, education, school setup for educators, leaders, coordinators, including students for that matter. But anyway, it was more like an educator's perspective. Thank you so much, teachers. Great interacting with you for another Super Sunday workshop. It really motivates to speak to everyone every Sunday, 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, when the participants and when the reflection forms keep coming into picture. As a gratitude, the least thing that I can do is issue the certificate for all the people who've been sincerely participating by filling up the reflection form and scoring 7 and above. I would like to continue on all of these things, provided you continue joining every day, every Sunday. Great interacting with you, one and all. I'll come up with another interesting topic. I think most probably the next topic is on creative writing. The next Super Sunday workshop, we'll talk about it. Until then, bye everyone, and Jai Hind. Yeah, if the score is less than 7, you don't get the certificate, Arundhati ma'am. Sorry for all the teachers. Thank you so much. I think now you are able to relate to the words like dopamine, amygdala, you know, hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal. And there's one more system, sympathetic adrenomedulla. We didn't talk about it. But anyways, I don't want to get into too much of biology, but an overarching chemical experience is important. That's why we mentioned about it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Suchishmita ma'am. Good to see you after a long time. Thank you, Pearl. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Please score 7 and above, ma'am, to get the certificates. If it's less than that, you don't get the certificates. You're a bit of a biology teacher. What do you mean by a bit of a biology teacher? It's like you joined there as a max teacher, but the school asked you to conduct biology classes. Something like that? Could be, could be. Thank you. Thank you so much, Farzana ma'am. Thank you. Bindu ma'am, good to see you over here. Thank you. Charanjit ma'am, thank you so much. Okay. Devi ma'am, thank you. Simran ma'am, thank you. Emojis could be a very good way of non-verbal communication of emotions. We'll talk about that in an emotional session. Thank you so much. If you have not received your certificate, please mail it to swati@superteacher.in. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Simran, once again. Thank you, Deepa ma'am. Rabia ma'am, good to see you. Thank you so much. Jyoti ma'am, thank you. Archana ma'am, you will be receiving it by Wednesday. Great, Dolly ma'am. Thank you so much. Hey, Manogiri ma'am, good to see you. Thank you so much. Points. There is no points collection. The reflection form has got the score. Thank you. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much. It's a Sunday. Spend time with your family, teachers. Have a super Sunday. Bye, everyone.